Hey guys, it's Billmaa here. I don't know if the camera can pick up the potholes that I'm going through, but this is like VFR off-roading crap. Oh shit! It's like big giant sandy potholes. Okay, I probably should slow down. I actually got up on the pegs dirt bike style just then, just to kind of navigate that. But anyway, we're doing a follow-up video. I did a video about 3 months ago called CBR, stands for Cool Bike Rider, and that video I went on some of the history of model designators for sport bikes and wanted to do another history video, and I got a lot of feedback and requests and stuff, so I thought it would be pretty cool. Today I was going to take on the 250 Ninja. I don't own the 250 Ninja, but it is a very popular bike with the vloggers, and about 80% of them have one or have owned one in the past. In fact, little does everybody know that Wooden Shears himself, before he had the F4i, he had a Honda Hurricane, but before that he had a 250 Ninja. All Kawasaki 250 Ninjas are EXs, EX 250s anyway, but not all EX 250s are Kawasaki Ninjas, and I can explain. Kawasaki came out with their very first EX250 with the EX250C in 1983, all the way up to the 2009 EX250H. The very first EX250 wasn't really truly a 250 Ninja, it was just an EX. It didn't really have much in common with the Ninja itself. The EX250D is, no one really knows much about it. I personally think it was a prototype that they started to build but never finished it for the EX250E. The EX250E, or Echo model, came out in 1986, and it was the very first 250 to wear the Ninja name. In the 1980s, the word Ninja was kind of a pop culture buzzword. It got kind of popular because of a couple Ninja movies that were made in the early 80s, and Kawasaki decided to cash in on it and actually call their bike the Ninja. It was only supposed to last a couple of years, but in 2009 they actually celebrated their 25th anniversary of the Kawasaki Ninja. The very first Kawasaki ever to carry the Ninja is the 1984 Ninja 900, and a little piece of trivia on that, that is the bike that Tom Cruise drove in the movie Top Gun. I've seen that on a couple posts, and people are, a little bit of controversy there what that bike is, but it is, the bike he has is a 1984 GPZ 900, or the 900 Ninja. But anyway, back on subject, the EX250E, or Ninja 250, that particular model lasted for 2 years, 1986 and 1987. And in 1988, they decided to restyle the bodywork. They also changed some carburetor stuff on it to make it rev a little quicker. And they styled it after the 750 Ninja as its older brother. And that bike stayed pretty much unchanged for 19 years, I think, till 2007. For a long, long time. And you might be asking, you know, why was it not changed? In the American market, there wasn't much competition for the 250 Ninja. The only competition for the 250 Ninja was the Honda Interceptor 250. Not really much of a relation to this bike. And it just didn't look as cool as the 250 Ninja, and it just didn't last. And it went for like a 2-year reign, and then it was discontinued, at least here in the States, and nobody bought it. After the VTR Interceptor went away, basically the 250 had a market niche. It was the only game in town, so Kawasaki didn't have to spend any money on research and development, so why change? So basically for 19 years they just put new paint and graphics on it and left it pretty much unchanged. Overseas, in like Europe and Japan and down in Australia, there isn't the same stigma associated with the 250 as being a smaller bike. They don't have that bigger is better American attitude that we have, and they had a crop in the early 90s of really capable 250 sport bikes. They had the FZR 250RR, the CBR 250RR, and there was even a GSXR 250. The 250 itself has always been considered an entry-level motorcycle, at least the Kawasaki Ninja 250. But those bikes had all kinds of neat hardware and stuff like the bigger bikes, which brought their price up and beyond kind of the scope of a beginner rider. And hence, that's one of the reasons those manufacturers decided not to bring them here to the States. They figured Americans would rather pay an extra $1,500 than get a 600, and they just wouldn't sell over here, so they were never imported. So hence the 250 stayed unchanged and did really successful. I mean, it's a good looking bike. It's really contemporary. Even, you know, 19 years later, it's still a pretty good looking bike. But Billy, you said that was the F model, yet the current version is the H model. Yes, I did. The F model ran in the United States from 1988 to 2007. There was a Japan-only spec called the G model. The only difference between it and the F model was that it had twin rotors up front and a slightly wider front tire. But other than that, it was exactly the same as the F model. Kawasaki America didn't deem the bike cost-effective enough. And if you'll notice that all 250 Ninjas only have one brake rotor up front, they're just not heavy enough to warrant the power of two rotors. So that bike only lasted for a couple years and then was discontinued, even in Japan. And then there was an H model that was a European and Canadian spec only. The bodywork was styled after the early 90s Kawasaki ZX6. I thought it was a really good looking bike, and it was a little bit more contemporary styling, and I don't know why they didn't bring it to the States. I guess it was just not cost effective or whatever, but they should have. It was a pretty cool looking bike. And that was the 250 over there for a couple of years. The I model was never made because in sport bike speak, I usually means injected. And Kawasaki didn't want to confuse people by calling it the EX250i, because it would maybe give people the wrong impression that the bike was fuel injected. So they just skipped over the I and got to the current model, which is the H model. Yeah, look at all these people here. They're lined up for my vlog. The beauty of these particular type videos is I don't necessarily have to be on the bike to do them. I mean, it's more visually stimulating and if I'm moving, but I can do the talking head style to do these kind of videos. So it'll give me something to do this winter when I'm snowed in. So stay tuned for that. I've got some videos planned this winter, but you know, we're gonna have to struggle through it together as a team. I'll be watching you guys down south as you vlog away, but we up here in the north, me and Wooden Chairs and Sip and Ashfoot, we're all gonna be kind of snowed in here. I got about 6 more weeks, so anyway, I'll pump out as many videos as I can till then, and I'll see you on the road.